Good morning. Labs reits, labas rītas, tere homikust, guten morgen, dobre utra, dzień dobry. That's it, probably. I can't continue. I am Sanita MartenaS, together with my colleagues Antra KļavinskaA, say hello, and Ilga ŠuplinskaI. We are representatives of Rezekne Academy of Technologies, as you see here. And very happy to be part of this summer school. Shortly about our profile, my profile, I'm social linguist. I'm not in digital sciences, but digital humanities I am. But more interested in languages, multilingualism, language policy. And my colleague Antra KļavinskaA, she's more in socio-onomastics. And Ilga ŠuplinskaI, cultural studies, literature studies, and language education. But today our topic, as you see, it's about Latgalian language, about language corpora, and our digital resources, but we will try to contextualize with our smaller, lesser used languages of Europe. A little bit different profile, probably as it was yesterday and the day before. For us, digital humanities means mostly basics humanities. We are interested in humanities, all three of us. And of course, doing research in humanities currently means also digital humanities. So what we are going to talk today and how we have planned 2 hours. First of all, we would like to introduce you with Latgalian, and we hope that after 2 hours you have picture what is that, what kind of language is Latgalian. But for commenting Latgalian, we have to comment on Latvian standard, but you have really picture about Latvian context and where Latgalian is used and what is different from Latvian standard. So a short social linguistic insight. Shortly I will speak about European lesser used languages in comparison with Latgalian to give some kind of picture about it and why do they matter, why it is important to care about small languages, why we just can't stick to national languages or international languages. Shortly about research directions, what we have done in Rezekne Academy of Technologies during last 20-25 years, but mostly we will focus on what we have done during 2 years. So, and my colleague will continue, Antra, with Latgalian language corpora. She will introduce and also shortly about other digital resources. Ilga will continue about Latgalian in education. Together, first 5 points we have planned for 60 minutes for 1 hour. In the end, if you have questions, we are happy or comments, to listen to your comments or answer to your questions. Break can be 10 minutes, and afterwards we will focus on more practical doing together, not just in monologue speaking, but a workshop which will lead Ilga. And in the end, if we have time, summing up questions and answers again. If we don't have, we can use coffee break or lunchtime to continue a conversation, if you have interest about it. Is it okay? Sounds reasonable for you? Let's start. Okay. So, about languages of the world, if we look at Ethnologue 2024 source, you can see there are more than 7,000 languages in the world. What about their status? Looking from perspective of language vitality, we can see that part of them, more than half of them, are stable and institutional. Institutional means they are used in institutions officially, different domains, official domains, in local municipalities, national level. This is institutional level. And stable also almost 3,600 languages from 7,000, and you can see quite many, half of them are endangered or even extinct languages. And this border between stable and endangered is very, very tricky, I would say, because it can change from day to day, from year to year. We will see regarding Latgalian, it is from ethnologue perspective described as stable. It doesn't mean that it has the same level as other official or national languages. How do they characterize language vitality? There are mostly 9 criteria. Language transmission from one generation to another generation. It is language use at schools, education. It is language and digital in digital space, how it is used. There are 9 criteria from which specialists, experts decide to which level which language goes. Regarding Latvian and Latgalian, here is a short introduction. If we are all in Latvia, where official language is Latvian, as you know, and Latvian is classified as a macro language in macro level, but if you see in this short text, it is subdivided into 2 more individual languages. Here, bottom, you can see macro language Latvian, but 2 micro languages, Latgalian and standard Latvian. So Latgalian is one of Latvian languages, but it is with their own orthography, long history, more than many centuries. We will not speak about history now, but so, and standard Latvian. Regarding language vitality, of course, they can't be in competition, Latvian standard and Latgalian, but anyway, we can characterize from linguistic point of view. Standard Latvian is used, it has official language law, not all European countries has their own official language laws, and Latvian is used everywhere, in all domains. So institutional level, it means the highest level which says this is really stable and not endangered language. Plus, you can see from ethnologue perspective, digital language support is quite high, and this is very vital language, Latvian standard, where no danger. In comparison, Latgalian, from ethnologue perspective, is described as stable language. And therefore, I said it's a bit tricky, because if we look closer, what does it mean, stable language? Stable language means that it is transmitted from one generation to another, and it is learned at school, taught and learned at school. And this is not Latgalian case, actually. It is, Ilga will speak about it. In some schools, yes, but mostly it's not taught at school. It's not compulsory subject, it's not language of instruction, and I will show you that it is transmitted, but also not in all families. So, but anyway, it has stable position, it has language materials, it has literature, it is, as we see here, regarding digital language support is ascending, so it's growing, it's developing, and Antra will prove it, that digital development is has been increased during, I would say, last 5 years, very, very intensively. So, but anyway, the positions in which we see the huge difference. A short social linguistics insight about Latgalian. Here is a privately made map. In yellow color, you can see area where Latgalian mostly spoken. This is southeast part of Latvia. And if we look closer how many people speak in Latvia in general and in Latgale area, you can see such picture. So the first 2 small short columns, it is about Latvia. In Latvia, more than 10 years ago, approximately 9% of all of population they have admitted they use on an everyday basis Latgalian. So mostly they are in a migration Latgalians who have moved from Latgale to Riga. Mostly there are such cases. And this number in 2022, so a few years ago, has been decreased from 9 to 8%. And this orange-yellow line means that this is the main language in families. The main language, this is very little used. What does it mean? Mostly families are switching from Latvian Standard to Latgalian. Sometimes it is even Russian if they are bilingual families. So such translanguaging is more common than just Latgalian in family. And this is, you see this small line, narrow, very narrow. It is characterized as people who speak just Latgalian in families or every day in different domains. About Latgale, two bigger columns you see in Latgale area, southeast part of Latvia. Almost 1/3 of population has said that they are using Latgalian, so 37% of all people. In 2011, it was not question about is it the main language, but in 2022, such question appeared. So, and we can see that the amount of people who speak just Latgalian, they have said it is almost 9%, this yellow bigger line. So 1/3 of population in Latgale, they are using Latgalian, and in Latvia also we can see in general. But the question is, what is age? Can we describe the correlation between age group and intensive language use? Not so much, actually. Not so huge difference. In some cases, yes, in some, no. But mostly two bigger columns you see. It is 55 plus age groups, people who more use Latgalian. Yeah? But you also have noticed that this age group from 25 to 34 years old, almost 38% who use at home Latgalian or outside home. This is generation who has born on 90s or later, when the really movement of revitalization of Latgalian. And this is my just hypothetically description, therefore I think this age group is bigger, because they have grown up in such environment, the language prestige has been increased after Soviet Union times. What about other languages in Europe and how we can compare Latgalian with other languages? I think this is a very nice map where we can see, if we look at Latgalian, here it is also mentioned here, Latgalian. So also I have to speak in microphone probably. Yep. It will be difficult. Okay. But you can follow yourself. If we look to our neighbors, we could compare Latgalian, let's say, in Estonia with Viru. We could compare in Poland, you see in the north part, Kashubian language. This is mostly a map of autochthonous regional languages. Yeah? Besides national official languages, we can see a lot of autochthonous regional languages. Also, if we move to the north, we can see in Norway and Sweden also Southern Sami. It's used. It can be compared with Sami in general. It can be compared with Low German in Germany. It can be compared if we look in the Netherlands. Sorry, in Netherlands, Frisian, West Frisian will be mentioned today in the Netherlands. Or we will mention later on we will speak shortly about Mirandese. It's this border area between Portugal and Spain. Mirandese as a small regional language and others. So there are particular regions, even cross-country regions, like in Sami case, where such languages are spoken. among them Latgalian in Latvia. What we can say more when we speak about lesser used languages, maybe you even confused because digital, with summer school, one of keywords in the title, smaller languages. How it's possible to describe what is small, what is big language? Latvian, is it small or big? Latgalian, is it small or big? Regarding such regional languages, more often it is used in social linguistics term lesser used languages. And if we look at how we label such small languages, lesser used languages, it's always question in comparison with what? And lesser used languages if we compare with national languages, of course, mostly cases. Like in Latvia, it is mostly used Latvian and Russian in particular areas, and lesser used language is Latgalian, which is regional language. But labeling continues when we start to think, let's say, about Sami, South Sami, or West Frisian. Is it endangered language or not? Does it have status, regional language status or not? Many of them have, like in the Netherlands, they have official regional language status. Latgalian doesn't have official regional language status. It is described as historical variant of Latvian. So, endangered languages, we just spoke a few minutes ago. They are not stable because they are not used institutionally, they are not used in all domains, and they are not taught at school mostly, and they are not transmitted. They are more endangered languages. Regional languages, very often, they are common term for this label. Regional is autochthonous. So, which have been used for centuries in particular area, and this is contrast to migrant languages. Yeah, like if we could put here also this label, but it would be too much. And therefore, when we speak about endangered or stable but regional languages, we also often use this label collateral languages. Collateral languages which are in comparison with dominant language, linguistically, structurally, very similar, and also similar identity-wise. Latvian case. Latvian and Latgalian, they are both Baltic languages, so they are collateral, even if you have not learned Latgalian, if you don't speak at home, when someone speaks Latgalian, you can catch what about. Yeah, not in details, but it depends on topic probably, on your experience about content. So, but they are collaterally, linguistically similar, and also identity-wise similar. If you would ask Latgalians how they would identify themselves, they would say, we are Latgalians. It depends where this question it is addressed. If I am in Europe, in another country for conference, I'm saying I'm Latvian. Because people probably in America, they don't know where Latvia is. Yeah? Therefore, I start with Latvian identity. And if it goes, if someone says, I have been in Baltic states, I know this and that, and in this case, I'm saying, yes, I'm Latgalian, but how it is connected, Latgalian identity, mostly if you speak Latgalian language. They are very, very interrelated. One of factors which allow to say that I am Latgalian because I have heard in my family, probably I don't speak anymore if some younger generation, but they have heard. So, and this is very closely related. I didn't say in the beginning when I introduced my colleagues what is common. We represent different fields in humanities, but what is common for all of us, we all are originally from Latgale, and originally we speak Latgalian in different levels. My Latgalian is the worst, absolutely I can say, in comparison with my colleagues, but it is our family language. It has been used in families. So collateral language also, Viru and Estonian, if you say, it will not be case Norwegian and South Sami, because they are different language groups, but collateral, so linguistically closely related, and also identity-wise, it is very close relationship. Contested languages were about which were discussions. Is it language or dialect? All those languages which I have mentioned, Mirandese, for instance, or Latgalian, often were societal discourses. Is it really language or is it dialect? So contested languages means that were still among linguists or broader society discussions how you can split. Why do you say language, not dialect, and were discussions, contested languages? So regional, collateral, contested, endangered, lesser used languages were something common about them. I hope that I gave a little bit insight on that. Why does it matter? Why we can't just use Latvian in Latvia? Will be much easier for all of us. English internationally, like today we are doing it. But I think reasons why we care about small languages. This is part of identity, very closely related with our ancestors, with our family stories, uniqueness. This is cultural heritage, traditions, also perceptions of the world. I'm a bit skeptical to use it, but I can say when we created dictionary, we noticed that when in Latvian standard I'm saying sauna, bathhouse. What does it mean for people when we hear or you hear sauna or bathhouse? And when we look at traditions, what people have done, how did they use bathhouse when small children were born, which plants they collected for giving health people because it was hot water and everything. This is something more than sound. And such stories, traditions, they allow us to see that people have looked at the world through language. Language is just frame, but the content in this frame, which can differ from region to region, from country to country. So this is important to care about this cultural heritage. Individually, it's clear this richer linguistic repertoire. I can say I am richer if I can speak both Latvian languages, Latvian standard and Latgalian. It is pluraliteracy. I can write, often with mistakes, but I can write in Latgalian and I can read. Definitely I can read. It gives me this additional tool to open texts. It is richer linguistic repertoire. And also in societal level, linguistic and cultural diversity in particular region, particular area, this is much more diverse area if we are more than one language. But also from language rights perspective, people who live and who have used language from one generation to another, they feel but they don't want to be discriminated and they don't want that their language is not presented or not allowed. So language rights with equality, I am equal with others. I am not worse because I speak at home Latgalian, how it was like during Soviet times. It was not officially allowed to use at schools. It was like if you go to Riga also you feel much worse if you speak Latgalian. I think it has changed and people are more proud and they feel this is their rights to use language. We have done research about Latgalian. We have looked at Latgalian from economic and non-economic value. You would ask me, what kind of economic value does such small language have? Or it has, particularly in tourism. If you want to attract more local tourists from another regions, they are very interested coming from Kurzeme or Vidzeme. They are asking, how do you say it in Latgalian? And if some signs more in Latgalian, it can be also even with economic value. A layperson's perception of Latgalian and its status, folk linguistics we have done in this field, subfield, also literacies, including corpus literacy in the regional collateral languages, also about language attitudes and societal discourses. One of very fresh articles which we have written, it is, we were very proud that we were addressed by this journal, and we prepared special issue of the Journal of Multilingual and Multicultural Development on literacy in collateral regional languages of Europe. Regarding Latgalian, we have published already online. It's possible to read 3 articles about Latgalian. They are with open access. If you have interest and you will have this presentation, you can open and read about it. Also about corpus literacy. And also, I have mentioned, probably didn't mention, but science in public space or linguistic landscapes. We have done research, looked how Latgalian is represented in public space, linguistic landscapes. Also, about research about bilingual road signs and also societal discourses, public attitudes about it. If you see just small pictures in Latvian standard, for instance, Balvu novads and Bolvu novads in Latgalian, or also Preļu novads and Preļu novads. So linguistic landscapes and bilingual road signs. We have done research also on language education, about also Latgalian literature and educational games, which will be today, few of them introduced. So this is, in very short form, I have introduced. Now we are moving slowly to digital part of our presentation. So if we look and think about lesser used languages, regional languages, and you saw in the second or third slide about language vitality, it is important that language is used and represented in digital space. In comparison with other regional languages, lesser used languages, there's huge difference regarding language corpora. Like, we can't compare Latgalian with Basque, of course, no, we can't compare. Or let's say even with Low Sorbian in Germany or Welsh in UK, much bigger language corpus, if you see here data. But we can compare, let's say, with Poland, with Silesian, regional language in Poland, collateral Polish Silesian, and in this corpora were very similar size, 2 million words in Latgalian and Silesian, more or less. It probably has been developed since 2021 when we did this research. But it is developing. Latgalian also developing, also speech corpus. Antra will talk. But why it is important and what kind of situation, how we can describe situation about language corpora of Latgalian, and why for us researchers and for broader population it is important language corpora, I am asking to tell about it Antra. The floor is yours. Maybe some of you have questions or comments before Antra continue to speak about language corpora and our digital resources. But, yeah. Probably you need microphone. Oh, there.
Good morning, Signe Redans from Stockholm University. I wanted to briefly ask whether you've considered using the concept of heritage languages in relation to Latgalian in Latvia.
Thank you, Signe, for the question. Heritage languages, if we have not done so much research about Latgalian in diaspora outside Latvia. So in Latgala case or in Latvia, I don't see but probably if it is in situations when it is not used anymore for younger generation in families, but they have, let's say, perceptive multilinguals, perceptive skills, they can understand what their grandparents or parents are speaking. It could be case, and it is not, in many situations, it is not static, it's very dynamic. We see that there are children who don't speak Latgalian, but they suddenly start to attend some course, interest group at school or summer camp, which Ilga is leading with summer as well. And after some time, they start to speak and actively use. They have not just receptive skills, but also active skills. In such situations, this is, I wouldn't say this is heritage because it's actively used in more than one outside family as well. But this is a bit complicated. It should be done research in specific cases in order to say, is it heritage language or not? From my data about diaspora, Latvian diaspora outside Latvian use in diaspora, I have together where we have 21 interviews in depth, and families which originally are from Latgale, they don't use anymore Latgalian. In such cases, we could speak about also to add one term heritage language. But what is interesting from interview in Norway, for instance, a Latvian family, they have changed attitudes to regional languages, to Latgalian. Just very short description, what my respondent has told me. She said, when I was in Riga, she's originally from Riga, and I attended French lycées with French profile, and children came also from Latgale after 9th grade to secondary school, and they had very strong accent Latgalian. And our teachers did everything that this accent will be removed, but they speak standard Latvian. And she said, since I live in Norway and I see how proud people are about their dialects and varieties, I am not speaking just about Nynorsk and Bukmål, but about all dialects. She said, I have changed my attitude, and I think why we were so negatively regarding such children who came and spoke with such accent. So with language awareness is very strong, and I would love to do research deeper about such cases, how attitudes towards regional, lesser used languages change when people move outside Latvia. This is incredibly interesting. But thank you for this question. Probably in few cases we could think that in this, what I collected terms, heritage language would also take place there. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your presentation. My question is regarding regional influences. So Latgale is situated nearby Russia and Belarus. Within your recent or previous research, have you seen any influences on Latgalian and the way it's used and spoken in terms of minor variations, perhaps, due to that geographical proximity of certain other languages? I mean, I stated two, but maybe there are more. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you. Also, border with Lithuania, it would be the case. But we are not, three of us, we are not doing research in theoretical linguistics, like it is more social linguistics. But of course, we can see influence. It's not just border area, but also historically, if we speak about 17th century old believers who came to area of Baltic states, they are also like very old Russian speakers population also in Latvia, and particularly in Latgale, in our region, but also, of course, border area, well, now competition between Russian and English, like the impact of Russian and impact of English on Latvian and Latgalian, not just on Latgalian, but also on Latvian. But about structural changes, now I will not speak. Also, such we could label, if it would be another topic, like such varieties like Trostianka, or which is really, you can see this is some mix of Latgalian, Belarusian and Russian. languages. Like, absolutely, we are not just languages with borders or varieties. This is really interrelated. Linguistically, we can find linguistically elements in, particularly in lexical level a lot. Yes, thank you. I think we will not move anymore to language corpus, but yes, please.
Just a follow-up question to my colleague there. Since we spoke about borders, do you have any information about Latgalian being used across these borders in Belarus, Russia, and Lithuania? And if so, do you have any connections with these institutions to together do the research?
I think the biggest cooperation is with Siberia. In Russia, it has been not only from Rezekne, but also from Latvia University and other institutions, expeditions, not only language, cultural, folklore expeditions, and were documented Latgalian, which is spoken even by third generation of Russian speakers in Siberia. And Antra probably, when she will tell about language corpus, she will mention that also in our corpus where we have used audio recordings also from those people in Russia, in Siberia, who still speak Latgalian, but they are doing a lot of translanguaging. So this is what regarding your question also. This is, and also we have cooperation with Lithuania, with Magnus University in Kaunas. So, but it's not not so much about Latgalian, but about similarities, Latvian standard, Latgalian and Lithuanian, yes, also, yeah, in this case. But we had planned actually before 2022 one project with Belarus, but it has not taken place.
Thank you. I'm also a Latgalian speaker, native Latgalian, and I remember my grand-auntie was a leader of Latgalian community here in Riga, maybe you have heard of her, and she invited people from Siberia whose ancestors were from Latvia, from Latgala, and I do remember these people speaking. Yes, it was very a mix of languages.
They do. It's interesting. The third generation, they still do. Thank you. Andra. Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for your lecture and explanations. I have a question that actually comes from my observations of Latgalian people speaking. And that's about a phenomenon called, I think, in linguistics, code switching or language switching. So do you have studies in code switching in Latgale, or do you plan, or maybe is it possible to use corpor linguistics or other digital tools to study this phenomenon? Because I think it's very, like, living language, for living language, very important.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. Absolutely. We have, our institution is, I can say, small. We are really limited human resources. This is one thing which I think about, in general, about code switching. Only Nicole now has been published one article, Code Switching Latvian Russian in Riga. Actually, not so much studies about that in Latvia, but well, I would split code switching and translanguaging, but this is different topic. They do regularly, but it depends on age group. Yeah, if we look at this age group, this is just individual observations living in the area. If people use Latgalian at home, and this generation mostly 60 plus, and they speak Latgalian, they don't do so much code switching. If it is taught and learned more, not transmitted just in family, there are much more code switching, you would say. From language, regarding this aspect about using language corpus for studying, this is a speech corpus, which Andre is going to talk. We can see, and we have had big challenges how to transcribe, because we are doing manually speech corpus, how to transcribe such code switching situations. But absolutely we can notice, and corpus could be a good source for maybe not so deep, but for first studies about code switching regarding Latvian, Latgalian, Russian. Mostly were all three varieties which is in Latgale region you can hear. Younger generation also English plus comes. Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes, hello. My name is Antra, and I'm also linguist, the same as my colleague Sanita. Regarding your questions, another colleague, Angelika Juško-Štekele, who is researching folklore texts, also had done research about this code mixing and code switching already in Latgalian folklore. And here you can find some codes from Lithuanian, Polish, of course, because of this historical long ties, Belarusian, Russian, and even how we could say that local Polish, or they even don't know who they are. So this is not a present situation, but it's also found in old folklore texts. So thank you, Sanita, for introduction, and I'm going to continue with in more details about Latgalian corpora and other digital resources. So Sanita already mentioned that we are linguists or philologists. So to create these digital resources, we are happy to cooperate with other institutions, and at the moment we are working on corpora and on new online dictionary, Latgalian thesaurs, and we are happy that we have good cooperation with Latvia University Artificial Intelligence Laboratory, and I'm happy to see here also our partners in this project. In process of creation and development of digital resources, we are following FAIR data principles. Yes, probably you know that means findable, accessible, interoperable, and reusable. And in this picture, you can see that all these resources are interconnected. And this is our goal to build this Latgalian digital ecosystem. Yes, and following this findability and accessibility, we have also created our products are visible in Clarin Latvia system, and also our corpora you can find in National Corpus collection. So and here you can see that there are 3 corpora at the moment. Mula 2022, this is latest version. The first version is created in 2012. So these are written texts. Then we have also Latgalian spoken corpus, which is Mula-R. Sanita already started to talk about this corpus. So that means this here we have interviews. So that means it's spontaneous speech, and we are transcribing these texts manually. And the latest one is balsu tolka. I actually don't know how to translate it. So this corpus is built from a common voice crowdsourcing platform, and mostly it's done by AI laboratory of Latvia University. And at the moment, our main work, what we are doing, is creation of Latgalian thesaurs, which is also made on the same platform that Latvian thesaurs is. So probably participants from Latvia use this Latvian thesaurs. So it will be on the same software. And in the same time, of course, we are working on different analyzers like paradigm operator and morphological tagger. And at the moment, only one of these corpora, these read sentences corpus, is manually lemmatized. But other things are still in process. In the process of development of corpora of lesser used language, our experience shows that we see our opportunities, because there are a lot of things, exciting things, what we are doing like pioneers. It happens first time in this Latgalian environment, but also we have to face a lot of challenges in this process. So if we are talking about opportunities and strengths, a good thing is that we can learn from good practice, experience from other lesser used language corpora and other tools, because we have already long-term cooperation with other European and regional language and research centers, and also in this data management, we have good cooperation with local Latvian institutions. And we are also trying to promote our resources, to tell, to show, especially for teachers, how they could use also in education process, because of course it's good to document language, to use it for research purposes, but it's important also to raise awareness of the value of Latgalian in local community. And if we talk about challenges, some of challenges already Sanita mentioned. There are, could say, linguistic and extra-linguistic challenges. Sanita mentioned that for a creation of speech corpus, we had to transcribe these texts manually, and of course, if it's spontaneous speech, it's quite challenging, and also takes a long time, and subjectivity factor are also working. If we're talking about text corpus, so that also means that we also don't have all kind of texts. For example, there are not much documents in our text corpus. And of course, a big challenge is variativity in grammatical level, and also in lexical level, and also this code mixing and was mentioned. So we also have to think how to transcribe this speech, etc. And if we are speaking about extra-linguistic challenges, that means we all the time we have to be skilled in project proposal writing, because we only this is the only way how to get funding for these projects, and of course we can plan what we would like to do, but projects are projects, and we don't know what we will get as a result. Our colleagues also had done research about usage of text corpus, and they understood that most of people are informed about existence of this corpus, but they don't use actually, and not really interested, and probably the reason also is the lack of corpus literacy. So, however, we are very enthusiastic to continue our work and overcome these challenges. So now I'm going to demonstrate a bit some corpus, some corpora. On the top you can see also a website link and QR code. So if you are interested, you can also explore these resources in your phones or laptops, but you can do it, of course, also later. So I'll try to open. No, this is, yes. So corpus of contemporary Latgalian texts consists from Latgalian texts from 1988 to 2021. And here we have also metadata about the author, place, and year of the publication, as well information about the type and the genre of the text. This corpus you can find in Latvia National Corpora collection, and it is built of no sketch engine software. I suppose you are familiar with this software, so I will not demonstrate much how it works, but for example, here we can see text type analysis, and which also demonstrates in some way real situation, what kind of texts we have in Latgalian, because this corpus was made in certain proportions. So you can see that this this blue one and red one, these are publicistics and informative texts. The next big part is fiction and literary texts, and there are much less scientific texts and documents. Yes, and unfortunately, this corpus is not lemmatized, so that means if you will, it's also a bit challenging to search. But so, for example, if you will write a certain form, you will get only this form of noun or verb, but of course to get other forms you need to use some other way. Here you can see also other forms and derivations. So yes, I suppose it's enough. Next corpus is corpus of contemporary Latgalian speech. And visually you can see that this one is a bit different. It's not built on no sketch engine. This is Spoko software, which was created for I suppose dialects of Slavic languages, but we adapted it for Latgalian. And also I will try to demonstrate a bit. And this interface you can also see is in 3 languages, in English, Latvian, and Latgalian. And Sanit already mentioned that here we have texts from our field research from 2009 till nowadays, till 2021 was last field research in Aglona. And then we have audio recordings of TV and radio broadcasts, but these are only interviews. Yes, we could say that this is also spontaneous text. And also there was a question about heritage language, so we have also speech recordings of Latgalians living in Siberia. So we could say that these texts, we can say that these are heritage language speakers' texts, because not only different codes, but also they have preserved old lexis and old grammatical forms. You can also in this search, you can also select metadata. So if you want, you can select some speakers from Krasnoyarsk, for example, or Tomsk. But also you can select different age, different gender speakers, and there are also, you can select by source. L means speakers from Latgale, M means media, and R in Latgalian reiti, so that means Eastern diaspora. And yes, this corpus also is not lemmatized, but there is option that you can just write beginning or end or case sensitive for searching. And at the moment we have I forgot 32 hours of 23 hours of recordings and transcriptions. And yes, I could also a bit demonstrate how it works. The same word begins with, and we can also see this short segment and also larger contexts, and we can also
Tā kā valodu neaizmirstam, ar latgaliešiem runājam latgaliski.
Probably not connected, but you can also download this segment of audio file, and you can also look for metadata and so on. So this works a bit different, but it's quite user-friendly and also quite easy to build. And latest corpus, also speech corpus, But what's the difference? If previous was a corpus of spontaneous speech, here we have sentences in Latgalian read by different speakers of Latgalian dialects. And this corpus was made using data from Mozilla Common Voice platform. And this is first Latgalian corpus where you can, which is lemmatized, manually lemmatized, thanks to colleagues from AI laboratory. So, and here at the moment there are 24 hours of recordings, and the process of collecting data is continuing, and also updating of this corpus works. And here also it's in National Corpus Collection. And here if we will write a basic form, let's check. Yes, we can also find other all paradigm of this known. If I have time, no. Okay, so I can just give an overview about our upcoming product, which is Latgalian thesaurs. It looks like Latvian thesaurs, but a bit different. You can see that here we have audio recordings, also from Common Voice platform. So here we have also pronunciation. Here we can also find inflection, all inflection forms. But here you can see the variety of Latgalian. There are a lot of diminutives of this word baba. And who are not Latgalians or Latvians, how do you think, what does it mean? What is baba? The meaning of this word. Yeah. So the first meaning is grandmother, but also old woman and vecāmāte. Vecmāte, dzemdības, kas pieņem. Midwife. Yeah. And for we also have manually selected examples, also from corpora. And there you can find also synonyms and derivates, and also for every lexeme you can see also source. So we take these lexes from different existing dictionaries. And yes, and the last slide you can just see overview about other digital resources and tools. There are also some another online dictionaries. Latgalian spelling tool and pronunciation app, what was made in cooperation with Frisian Academy, Latgalian verbs app, and the latest one is Google Translate, so you can translate something from English to Latgalian or vice versa from another languages. So this is it. Thank you very much. And I suppose we don't, at the moment, we don't have time for questions. Yeah, but that means I will give floor to... yeah, so, okay, as you wish. So...
So with that, thank you so much for this very, very relevant presentation. I'm really sorry that we do not have more time for the discussion. And with that, for now, I will say goodbye to our Facebook or YouTube's stream viewers, because after the break, we will proceed with the practical assignments and look into some specific websites and resources that are employing Latgalian and other smaller languages. And so let's go for a break and see you later, Facebook and YouTube viewers.
We continue with Latgalian language, and I slowly begin my speech, and maybe with some details about me. Because with my colleagues I more or less but work till 2022, but in this time I have very big changes in my life, and first of all I am National Guard, and my every day is connected with Latgalian language, because in my battalion all peoples every day speaking only Latgalian. It is first, then second, all my life I work as a non-governmental representative, and at the moment I am leader of Latgalian community, and I do many things and very lot of things. We organize events, camps, other activities for community. And then I start as researcher, and slowly I understand then this general mission, my mission, it is not only research or survive language, but it is develop language. And my activities is connect with them. So, but some words about Latgalian in education, and you can see maybe one very good resource. It is the regional dossier. The Latgalian language in education in Latvia. We have two issues. First of these issues was in 2008. And this second issue some years ago. And if you have interest about a situation in which we work in Latgale with Latgalian language or regional studies, you can read this regional dossier. And maybe only one very big changes 2008 and in nowadays. When we wrote these first issues, then we mention many problems which connect with programs, standard, maybe resources, digital or printing. But at the nowadays, the biggest problem is teacher motivation and number of students. And all time this number of students stay low and low. So, and my colleagues spoke about this experience which we have in our university, and we prepare many materials, not only as digital tools, but in video format. And my colleagues more work with this level which addressed for higher education, but I have this experience with this TV program, Your Class, and it is firstly when in Latvia we prepare materials, and you can see 32 sets for students and 2 sets of methodology for teachers, in which was possible learn and teach Latgalian. And one of maybe important goal for this very big project was we have problems with teachers, we have many limitation with stereotype thinking in Latgale, and these materials for Latgalian language and regional studies, how you see, was modern, because it was not only this lingua culturological methodology, it was using these digital sources, and we respect this student experience. And I think this interactive format was very useful for students. Antra and Sanita spoke about many digital sources, but you can see only biggest sources which we could use in classroom, and many of these digital sources we prepared with my colleagues. Maybe with all this first, which is oldest resources, and it is prepared with colleagues from University of Daugavpils and a special Professor Henrik Soms. So, and I maybe don't comment this all digital sources because we have this practical issues, but you have this presentation and you maybe check one or more these digital sources which you prefer and which you maybe know at the moment. But I think for us it is very important because these digital tools let all society in Latgale believe that Latgalian language is language, it is firstly, and secondly, it is possible to develop this language. And maybe this one of least materials which we produce with my colleagues connect this project in which we work at the moment, and it is All Plus project in program Erasmus Plus and ownership and leadership pathway for endangered languages using school. We work with partners from 4 countries, and you can see it is first language platform, a language platform in which we could learning and look for teaching materials in different lesser used languages or regional languages: Frisian, South Sami, Mirandese, and Latgalian. And Estonian colleagues from Tallinn University help us with this technical support and technical solutions. So, and I think we go in this site, and you can look for some practical issues. And in this you can see all plus.eu, and we try not in this general homepage, but we try this link which connect with Latgalian. Then after Sleepsvītra, we write Latgalian and try these sources. I think my colleagues maybe help me and look it is possible for people open these sources, so and we try work with these sources. But maybe I go this source too and say some words about this platform. Okay. This address is allplus.eu/Latgalian. Yep. And we can try. So, but in the beginning, only some principles or function why we develop these sources. And you can read this maybe general ideas which are important for using this A platform. But I think from perspective teachers and students, this force functionality is very important. So in this platform we collect materials which is major resources in which you can use and can teach Latgalian language, culture and tradition. And again we could try open these sources. and how I say this Latgalian part. And for all 4 languages, this content and form is the same. And all materials is in 2 languages, in regional languages and in English. This platform content consists from introduction part and 4 general parts. And first of all, it is a language portfolio. Then it is educational problems, systems, and description. Next is Latgalian outside the classroom, and the same is with South Sami, with Mirandese, with Frisian. And this last chapter is Latgalian is in broader context. And we start with practical issues. So, okay, I am not sure how I work in two pages, but I think for you, if you can maybe take pictures for this exercise, and then I go again to these online sources. So it is your exercise, and we try 1 or 2 from this field together. So, and maybe it is important if some of you don't know Latgalian, please raise or Latvian, I think, or Latvian, yeah. Please raise hand, and maybe you could cooperate with people who know Latgalian. Sanita, I see only one hand. Only one? No? Yeah, but maybe you could cooperate and work in peers or free in groups who know Latgalian or Latvian. It is possible? Some changes in your sitting places. Yeah? I think it will be easier for you, because some information, if you have some text, you see in Latgalian and, for example, Polish, maybe Latin, and it is not all in English. So, but you ask my colleagues for help too, if something doesn't work or you don't understand something. So, and I think we could go. Yeah. Sorry. Oi. Es pēkšņi sajūtu. Nē. Var redzēt? Es nevaru viņu. Es nevaru. Kurā bija?
Šajā te podziņa. Vai F5?
Super. F5. So, we start with education chapter, and you can take this picture because I go in these sources and I show when you can see first exercise.
So if we start for all class, part 2, integration in education system, probably.
Yeah.
Part 2, integration in the education system.
So you can see these sources, and first exercise connect with this 6-part facts about history of education. And if you have experience with Latgalian schools, then you feel this exercise when you can see map, and in this map you click your school. But if you don't have this experience with Latgalian schools, you feel this exercise. And if you go to English version, you can see the same exercise in English. So it is connected with our first dictionary by Jānis Kurmins, and you can see your exercise is find the Latin and Latgalian or Latvian words for Polish.
Ilga?
Yes?
Maybe we can stick just to one version for
Okay.
all. It will be easier for all. It doesn't depend have you attended Latgalian school or not. Just let's stick to this version. Find the Latin and Latvian words for Polish.
Okay. So maybe this first word anatomia for you is clear, but what you see, this description in Latgalian is so long, and I think it is characterized for first dictionaries in general. And in this way, you try fill all gaps and understand which words maybe are similar with your language, native or one language which you know, and maybe it is not so similar. So maybe 5 minutes for search, for looking for this exercise. So, how is your progress with this exercise? If you would like, you can check your exercise and try again if something is wrong. So, okay, Maybe you continue this exercise feel at home, but we look next exercise, and it is connected with Latgalian language status, official status, recognized in an official and formal level. And this is next exercise. If necessary, read the material of the legal status of Latgalian language in Latvia and test your knowledge by taking the test. And this test is in the same part. It is education, but this 7 chapter, rights of the Latgalian language. Again, in the beginning, all information is in Latgalian, but then in English. You can read some part of Constitution of the Republic of Latvia, or our law and law of the state language, or law of the Latvian historical lands. And end of this information, you have 4 questions. Very simple, true or false. Again, you can check your knowledges and then see it is true or false. So, first question. Legally and according to the international standards, the Latgalian language is Latvian and the Constitution of the Republic of Latvia and the state language law protect it. It is true or false? How you think? Again, you can see this is 7 chapter. Yeah. But we could answer together. It is true or false? Please raise your hand. It is true or false? How you think? Yeah, only 2 persons. No, this is true. Yeah, but it is true. Yeah, okay. But we check later. Next question. The Latgalian language is one of the dialects of the Latvian language which can be used only in countryside. It is true or false? It is false, yes. And next question. The Latgalian language was created on the basis of the High Latvian dialect. It is codified, and Latvian laws protect, maintain, and develop it, and support its use at school, in municipal authorities, the media, and the other domains. It is true or false? Yeah, it's true. And last question. Latgalian is a dialect. Yeah. It is false. So, and we can check again all our answers. And I think for us it's very important because this very simple exercise stress the Latgalian is language which has this protect from all Latvian levels and a special Constitution of the Republic of Latvia. So, then third exercise, you can see, we go to chapter materials, section Latgale data, and try give this information about 24 July. So, and again, we go in these sources. This 9 part, materials. Then we see biggest and major materials which we have in Latgalian, or, no, in this way, I think. Why not? Why, yes. books and other materials as accepting from Ministry of Education, Latvia Ministry of Education. The biggest part, it is only work of university people or teachers, and use as part of elective subject Latgalian language or regional studies. And these sources which you can check, it is this, Latgalis dati. It is oldest and it is the biggest sources. Sorry, but I have English version too. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah. This is the sources, Latgales dati, and yeah. So, and you can see it is a very big, I think, history sources for Latgale, because you see what happened in this day. All famous people, birthdays, then memorial days, then events. And if you look for these events, then it is one very interesting document from 1922, and it is a document about this state language status and using in the Latgalian schools. And maybe you know, but in Latgale, only from 2021 we have possibility use Latgalian language at schools, and only in 17 schools use Latgalian language. In the previous year, this number of schools is rising, and it is 26 schools, and approximately 400-500 students. They at the moment learn Latgalian language or regional studies. But in 1922, Latgalian was in all schools, first 2 grades, first and second grades. And only from 3rd grade, they start learn Latvian standard language. And it is very big differences with this language using. So, and many other facts we could look and analyze in these sources. I think it is very good sources for teachers and enthusiasts who research history and look for this Latgalian culture tradition and many position in social or economical life too. And our last exercise is connect with one another sources. The same chapter, check out the educational game. Let's get in touch. Can you name, and this question, if you open these sources, because again, maybe we have some problems, maybe not. Can you name how many prominent female personalities are in this educational game? So we can try this, try open this game. So, finish? Okay. If we, but maybe, okay. If Sanita said we have to finish, we finish, but if you have time, then you check please this educational game, because it is game about 33 personalities which are born in Latgale and which are famous in different fields, or music, research, theater, cinema, and I think many persons are more famous in Europe as in Latgale. For example, you know such famous personality as Teivo Tullio. You know this name or not? No. All life he lived in Finland, and he was a famous actor in period 2030 till 2050. Or, for example, painter Marko Rotko, he is from Latgale too, and we have this principle of time machine and 33 rooms in which this personality work or think about these trends which he or she develop in her or she life. And 33 persons, and how you think, how many women? 5. So I think it's so typical for this time too, because it is not typical this equality for this male and female, and this educational game show us how develop all Latgalian tradition in 19th and 20th century. So I think we have summary. Sorry, Sanita.
I will shortly say, just you will have possibility to see our presentation, right? We will send it, and in the end of presentation, you will see our summary, which was meant. This is from this All Plus book, where if you are not familiar with social linguistic situation of Latvia, you can look again at this map, answer to questions, try to answer, or to look at ethnical composition of Latvia in general, and the role of Latgalian, and in the end you will have references. Therefore, I'm sorry that we have to stop here. Thank you for your interest about small, lesser used languages, but important languages for our community. I hope you have some kind of impression about it. If there are questions, we are still here for some moment, probably for break. And otherwise, our links and resources you can find in the presentation. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I also want to add my thanks to Sanita, Antra and Ilga, because although I saw in the Zoom chat that some students from other countries are so confused, we don't know Latgalian, what we should do, and this is also strange to us. But I must say that also for Latvians, this all was quite new. I was surprised that I didn't know so many Latgalian words. I was in a better opinion on my Latgalian skills, and also these educational resources. This was something completely new for me, and I'm really admiring all the work that has gone into it, and I think we are just discovering the whole new culture, and even for us, who live in Latvia. So thank you so much for that, and I hope we will hear more about it in the future. And now we go for a short break to continue with the technical and challenging parts of our day.